Welcome to AI Pulse. It's February 25th, 2026, and we're here to break down today's most essential AI news. We've got everything from world-changing discoveries to the gadgets that might be hitting the market sooner than you think.
All right, so here's what's on the docket today. We're going to cover some stunning breakthroughs in materials science, then we'll look at a new face in the world of consumer robotics, and finally, we'll get into the very tricky business of trying to secure this whole AI ecosystem. Let's get into it.
Okay, first up, breakthroughs. We've got two really big ones for you. The first one could totally reshape the physical world of green energy, and the second, well, that one's changing the game for how we actually build and test AI in the digital world.
So you might not think about magnets all that often, but they are absolutely critical for things like electric vehicles and wind turbines. And here's the problem. The best magnets we have rely on these things called rare earth elements. They're super expensive, and the supply chain is, well, let's just say it's complicated, creating this massive bottleneck for going green.
Okay, but this is where it gets really cool. Scientists over at the University of New Hampshire thought, hey, what if we let an AI tackle this? And so they did. They had an AI sift through mountains of scientific papers, and get this, it cataloged over 67,000 magnetic compounds, and in the process it found 25 brand new, high-temperature magnets that nobody even knew existed.
And this is so much more than just a cool science experiment, you know? What this really means is we could be on the path to cheaper, more sustainable tech. We might finally be able to break our reliance on those shaky supply chains. I mean, this AI just helped solve a problem that has had human researchers scratching their heads for years. That's a huge deal.
Okay, so let's pivot a bit. We've seen AI discovering things in the real world, but what about building better AI? Well, it turns out we're using AI for that too. Meet Gecko. It's a whole virtual world designed specifically to train AI agents.
The best way to think about Gecko is like a flight simulator, but for an AI. See, these AI agents need to learn how to do things, what the pros call tool calls. But you probably don't want an AI just experimenting with, say, your social media account or your bank account, right? So Gecko creates this safe sandbox where the AI can practice, mess up, and learn from its mistakes without any real-world damage. It's a totally crucial step for making these things safe and reliable.
So we've got all this amazing foundational work happening, but how does it actually show up in products we can buy? Well, for that, let's turn to the consumer world, because smartphone maker Honor is doing something pretty wild.
And yeah, this is a really big deal. This isn't some lab experiment locked away in a university. We're talking about a global smartphone company aiming a humanoid robot directly at you, the consumer. This pretty much signals that a new battle is brewing. Tech giants are probably watching very closely, because this suggests the next big thing after the phone might just be a robot that walks around your house.
And you can tell just how ambitious they are by the words they're using. The CEO called it a warm, new, intelligent life form. They're not just trying to sell you a tool or a machine. That word, warm, that signals they want to build a personal companion, something that's really woven into the fabric of your life. But of course, with all this incredible power comes some pretty serious questions. As AI gets smarter and shows up everywhere, from science labs to our living rooms, the conversation has to shift. We have to talk about safety, policies, and a threat landscape that is evolving literally every single day.
So, on the one hand, you've got companies like Anthropic really trying to be proactive about this. They just updated their internal rulebook for how they build increasingly powerful AI. They're trying to make sure safety isn't something they tack on at the end, but something that's baked in from the very beginning.
And what's new here is a huge focus on transparency and accountability. First, they're making it super clear, here's what we promise to do, and here's what we think the entire industry should do. They're also publishing a safety roadmap for everyone to see, and they're going to release detailed risk reports every few months for outsiders to pick apart. Basically, they're trying to build trust by showing their work.
But here's the flip side. While folks like Anthropic are carefully building guardrails, the bad guys are hitting the accelerator. And when you look at cybersecurity, you see the same amazing technology being turned into a weapon in some really creative and frankly pretty scary ways.
And these threats are all over the map. You've got stuff like AI recommendation poisoning. Think of it like spam for chatbots. Then there are scams powered by Gemini, using super convincing AI chatbots to trick people into fake crypto deals. And of course, the classics are back with an AI twist, malicious browser extensions that have already fooled over 250,000 people by pretending to be helpful AI tools.
And it goes even deeper. There's malware out there called Prompt Spy that actually uses Google's Gemini on the back end to automate its attacks on Android phones. And the targets are changing too. Hackers aren't just after your password anymore. Now they're going after the very tools that developers use to build these AI systems, stealing things like API keys, which are basically the digital master keys to AI services.
So after all that, what's the big takeaway? It's this wild balancing act, isn't it? On one side, we have AI discovering materials that could literally help save the planet. And on the other, that same technology is being used to power incredibly sophisticated scams. It's a lot.
And that's really the core tension of the AI age. The capabilities are just exploding at a speed we've never seen before. But our ability to build safeguards, to create wise policies, to defend against the threats, well, we're in a frantic race just to keep up. And it leaves us with the biggest question of all. Can our wisdom actually keep pace with our own creations? That's the one we're all going to have to answer.